Hey guys, Nintendrew here. I'm always on the lookout for great deals on retro games. But don't you just hate it when you find a game you've been looking for, but it's in one of these crappy generic resale cases? Or even worse, the store only has a loose copy? This sort of thing can make or break a sale for many collectors, especially if you like to display your games on a shelf. Well, say no more. Today I'll show you how to make high-quality reproduction game cases with nothing more than a regular home printer, so you can go from this to this. Let's check it out. Alright, just before we get started with this tutorial, I've got to let you guys know this video was made possible by Displate. Displate is an online store which offers handcrafted metal posters with designs from talented artists across the globe. For example, here I've got this awesome Super Smash Bros. Poster just in time for Ultimate. I think these things are so cool. I've got 2 more up in my game room and 3 in my living room now. As I mentioned, these prints are made on real high-quality metal canvases, and each one comes with a set of magnets for easy mounting on any flat surface. Their website has tons of video game-inspired designs, but if that's not your thing, they also have plenty of prints from movies, TV shows, and pretty much any fandom you could think of. Make sure to use promo code DREW for free shipping on any order, and I'll have links to all the posters I've shown in this video in the description below. Okay, so like I said, this week I'll be showing you how to make reproduction game cases. This method will work for pretty much any size case you can think of. It'll work for your standard DVD size cases like Wii and GameCube games. It'll work for Nintendo Switch and PSP games, even DS and 3DS games. Like I said, pretty much any size case out there. Here's what you'll need to get started. First, you'll need just a regular home printer. Your standard inkjet printer will work perfectly fine for this project. Just make sure you've got enough ink for the job. You'll also need some regular printer paper, as well as a pack of glossy photo paper. I like to use this premium photo paper from Canon, but any sort of glossy stock should do the trick. Aside from that, make sure you've got a pair of scissors handy, and you should be good to go. Now for this example, I printed a new case for Far Cry Vengeance for Wii. Some more perceptive viewers might recognize that this is a game that we covered last week in my video on M-rated Wii games. Well, when I bought this at my local game store, it came in this really beat up generic DVD case. If the game you're looking to refurbish already has a perfectly fine plastic case, that's great, you can move on to printing the new artwork. But if it came in something like this, the first thing you'll want to do is to find a donor game or order some empty cases online. If you head over to the Nintendo online store, you can actually buy empty replacement cases from Nintendo directly, and they're usually pretty cheap, no more than $2 or so per case. But if they don't have exactly what you're looking for, you can always search for replacement game cases on sites like Amazon or eBay. I'll leave links in the description where you can find replacement cases for most popular systems. Another option is, you might be able to just ask your local game store if they might have some extra cases that they can give you, or sell for a small fee. That's how I ended up with a couple of empty white DVD cases for this specific project. I just asked and they happened to have some lying around that I was able to take home. So, after you have an appropriate case, next you'll need to find the artwork you'd like to print for your specific title. The best resource out there today for high-quality scans of box art is a website called thecoverproject.net. They have a huge selection of box art available to download for free, and an active community of members constantly updating their database. So for this example, I'll just search for Far Cry Vengeance. There we go. And click download. Easy as that. If you happen to find a title which doesn't yet have an entry on the cover project, you can always request a scan in the website's forums, or find an appropriate image through a quick Google image search. Once you've got the file downloaded, it's time to prepare the image for printing. We want to make sure it's going to come out the right size, otherwise you're just wasting ink and photo paper. For this, you're going to need some sort of image editing software. Pretty much anything will work. You can use Photoshop, Paint.net, whatever you might have, but for this example, I'm going to be using the GNU image manipulation program just because it's what I'm most familiar with. GIMP is a free alternative to programs like Photoshop, and I'll leave a download link in the description below. So basically all we want to do here is make sure we're printing at the correct size. For a Wii game, that's going to be 10.75 inches lengthwise and just over 7 inches tall. The cover project has a great thread which includes dimensions for every major type of case, so if you're not printing for a standard DVD size case, you can reference the correct values there. Again, all these pages will be in the description. Under Image and Print Size, I'll check to make sure the dimensions match those listed on the cover project. Every scan from the site should be the correct size, and will also have a resolution of 300 pixels per inch. You can confirm that that's the case here as well. Under File and Page Setup, I'm going to make sure that both the left and right printing margins are as small as possible. In this case, for my printer, that is 0.116 inches on each side. it'll automatically correct the value if you just go ahead and type in 0 for each. Just to make absolutely sure that everything is set up correctly, go ahead and put a sheet of regular paper in your printer, and we're going to print off a test image. This step is optional, but in the interest of saving ink, I'm going to make the image grayscale so we're not wasting any colors. Go to Colors and Desaturate, and hit OK. And to go one step further, I'll make the image lighter by choosing Colors, Brightness and Contrast, and bringing the brightness all the way up. When you open the print dialog, make sure everything is looking good and that the image is centered on the page. Go ahead and print off that test label. If everything worked correctly, you should end up with something like this. After trimming the edges of the paper, it should fit perfectly around our new case. If you come across any issues, double check that you followed each step correctly and try printing the image again. So, now that our label's been sized correctly, it's time for the real deal. I'll start by undoing the changes I made to the image for the test print. Perfect, back to normal. At this point, it's considered good practice to add a reproduction label message to your box art. This way, if you end up trading or selling the game down the road, you won't accidentally trick someone into thinking they're buying a legitimate complete copy. Now for me, I only make reproduction labels for my own collection, and whenever I trade or sell a game, I always check to make sure its label is legitimate. So in this case, it's not 100% necessary, but always be careful when trading or selling your games so as to not mislead a potential buyer. At this point, we're ready to print. Grab a sheet of that glossy photo paper and load it into your printer. Next, change your printer's paper settings to match the new sheet. This is a very important step because we want to make sure we're printing at the highest quality for those deeper and more vibrant colors. Finally, back in your image editing software, head to File, Print, and wait for the magic to happen. If you've done everything correctly, you should end up with a very high quality print, perfectly sized for your new case. Once finished, grab those scissors again and carefully cut away the excess paper. Open up your new case and slide the artwork into the window. Make sure everything's lined up to your liking, and then close the case. Finally, just using your fingers, firmly pinch the spine of the case to crease the new label. And you're done! Quite the improvement from that terrible generic case we started with. Don't be afraid to get creative with these labels. You don't have to just make perfect reproductions. For instance, you can also use these same steps to make custom boxes for games which otherwise wouldn't have them, like digital-only indie titles. Or you could even use them to protect your loose cartridges. I made some custom boxes for my Virtual Boy games out of red Nintendo DS cases lined with a bit of cutout foam. I hope you'll use these tips to help improve your own collection and keep those games looking great for years to come. Alright guys, that's about it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make your own game cases at home. As always, if you did enjoy the video, please do consider subscribing to Nintendrew for all sorts of cool gaming content, and make sure to share it with any friends who might find it interesting. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey guys, thanks again for watching and for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you like this one, here are 2 more videos you might like as well. As always, if you like what I do and would like to help out the channel, I've got a link to my Patreon on the right side of your screen. And otherwise, I hope you look forward to the next one. Take care!